Hi, hi.
Hi,
How are you doing, Prapti?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
So, today you had school or no?
No, it was vacation. I was relaxing, sleeping
Aha.
all day.
And congratulations that you got admission for what you call your course?
IB,
IB.
International Baccalaureate Program.
Wow. Congratulations for that.
Oh, thank you.
You came all the way from Nepal in
Yeah.
Norway
5 years ago. Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
How is it to be in Norway?
It's
Good?
really great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is good. Not the weather,
Mm-hmm.
especially the winter. It was so long.
Okay. So, you miss Nepal?
Yeah, I miss the food. I miss the people. I miss the church.
Mm-hmm. What do you miss most? Food or people? Both.
It's a secret, but I miss
Okay,
the
yeah.
food most. I think.
And you came here to join your parents, isn't it?
Yeah, to be reunited with them, kind of.
Mhm. Yeah, your parents were here before you.
Yeah, my father was here in 2016,
Uh-huh.
and after that, my mother came, and then we decided to join in.
And your father is a
Yeah.
pastor,
Yeah, he
Isn't it?
is.
so you're a pastoral kid.
Yeah.
How you find yourself being a pastoral kid?
Being a pastoral kid is a blessing into your life.
Mhm.
You get to know a lot of people, you get to build connections and know people who might help you in the ministries, and you also get a great opportunities to be in those ministries and participate there. But the other side of it is it's a bit challenging. Especially me, I feel like I'm being spied all the time.
So you feel like you're spied on?
Yeah, every time I need to make some decisions, I feel like, even though maybe I'm not, but I
Uh-huh.
feel like I'm being spied on, like those
Like
big eyes are
someone
looking at me.
like monitoring you always.
Yeah.
Like they have big CC
Yeah,
cameras
like,
around you.
Yeah, like I'm being judged, and every time before I need to make my decisions, I feel like, okay, am I doing this right? Am I gonna be judged for that? Is this the right thing to do? Yeah.
So you feel like people gonna judge you for your actions, like what you eat, the way you dress, the way you talk to other people,
Yeah.
the
of
way you
course.
behave.
Or maybe, yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay. What are the most challenging things to be a pastoral kid? What do you feel the most difficult?
The most difficult thing is that you have lots of people, lots of believers visiting your father all the time and sharing their experiences with him and sharing their sufferings and asking him to pray for them. And sometimes when you're also at home and you're tired from worldly things, you kind of get irritated by those, because it's kind of too heavy upon you and you're not mature enough and you're not grown up enough. Then it's gonna be too heavy, a load, like a bunch of load upon you. So it's gonna be quite a bit irritating, I think. Yeah.
I understand that one. Do you get disturbed, like as you said, like there are a lot of people coming in your home,
Yeah.
isn't it? Even I can see,
Yeah.
I can see, and I also do visit your home often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people coming and sharing their problems, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and then guests also, sometimes international guests,
yeah.
sometimes from within Norway, people visiting here,
Yeah.
and even taking shelter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe personally, it's not because many people visit us. It's because I'm quite a bit introverted in some or in one or another way. So kind of I feel I get irritated by when there's a lot of people and when there's a lot of talks going on.
Yeah.
Nowadays specifically, maybe I'm being, entering kind of teenage years, and so in that sense I do feel irritated. But having a lot of people visit your home, having a lot of believers share their sufferings, share their life with you, is also kind of a good thing, because you get to know more about this world, get to familiarize with yourself with a whole bunch of different perspectives on this world, and know what people are really going through. Because like when you only know about yourself and your life, your perspective and your perception on life is too limited, I think, and you don't really get to see more of this world and what life really is, because life is like very abstract. So when you meet new people, when you meet different kinds of people, you get to know a lot more about them, and just more about Jesus, more about God, and more about this world too.
Like, let me ask you very openly, like, is there sometimes, do you feel like people are like they're expecting something more from you since you're a pastoral kid, or like there's a kind of set pattern? Okay, these are the standard of pastoral kid. They should do this one, they should not do this one,
Yeah.
or they have to show this kind of character,
Yeah.
and they cannot do such things. They have to. Is there something like this that people have expectation on you?
I think people do have a set of expectation and prejudice against pastoral kids. They have a set of expectations and set of standards as for us. So I think in that sense I do get pressurized, like dressing modestly, kind of having that morality, and also about posting some social media posts.
Okay.
In that sense I also need to be quite careful, and also about my opinions in general.
So, like, does it affect your father's ministry, the way you live?
The way I live, yeah, I think it does. Because what my father is really doing is that he's taking a role of a pastor and teaching people about God and how to live according like Jesus lived, basically. So in that sense, if people don't see that he's teaching me, he's able to teach me and imply those teaching of Jesus into my life, then they will not believe that he's the able person to teach and he's the right person, and that kind of decreases his credibility when he's speaking. Yeah.
So, like, do you feel pressurized, like, okay, the way I live is gonna affect my father's or my mother's ministry, so I have to be very careful, and those things sometimes hamper your studies, or in other way around affecting you? Is that happening with you?
To some extent it does, because being a pastor, you're being a really open person, you're welcoming people into your life and just letting them be open to you, but in that sense you're also being open to them. So when you're being open, sometimes you just don't tell people about yourself but also your family, like what their goals are and what they're gonna be or what they're gonna do. So when it comes to privacy, there's kind of a limitation to it. You don't really get to have one. So a lot of people will know about who you are, what you're gonna be, what your goals are. So that kind of put a lot of pressure on you to, like, okay, a lot of people know about this, a lot of people know what I want to do. So you kind of feel pressurized to do those things and be based on those. So when it comes to your mind about changing your goals or changing your ideas of becoming a different person, then you kind of get pressurized by those, like, okay, many people know like you're gonna be this or that. So if I'm gonna be another than that, then what's gonna happen? It's kind of those things that comes to your mind.
Like, you have been exposed to many people, like
Yeah.
many people knows you.
Yeah.
Like you have a church family,
Yeah.
like they knows you, their relatives may be knowing you,
Yeah.
and then again, like you've been taken to so many conferences
Yeah.
and going to sing there, and you're part of our choir also. Like
Yeah.
people say, okay, who is this girl, little girl? Okay, she's a pastor's daughter,
Yeah.
and you have a different identity that people already built your
Yeah,
identity.
yeah, it was not me who like volunteered. Okay, I wanna volunteer and be a pastoral kid. I was like, no, I'm born with this. I was born with this.
Yeah.
God, of course, it was God who gave this life to me. But yeah, I did not volunteer for it.
Do you get to hear sometime like people saying, we used to say actually, like back in those days, if my pastor's children they do something wrong or they behave something different, we say, you're pastor's child, you cannot do those things. Like, have you ever heard such kind of words from some believers or some people saying, okay, Prapti, you are pastor's kid, you cannot do those things?
Sometimes I do hear those kind of here and there.
What do you feel when people say that?
I feel like, okay, just let me live my life. And I'm like, okay, like let me get a bit of freedom, kind of. But the thing is that I live in an environment where I feel really comfortable, where I'm really safe to be myself, especially in Oslo, Nepal church. We, like the members, you and everyone is welcoming. I feel really comfortable with you guys, speaking with you and acting, and all those things. And I think that in that sense, I don't really get a lot of those comments, and I rarely get those comments. But if I imagine being in Nepal, I do imagine myself being criticized and being judged and being pressurized to be a certain person that I don't really want to be. Yeah.
So comparatively, lesser than Nepal here, you don't get judged.
Yeah, and I'm like really thankful that my parents brought me here sooner. So like
Norway.
I get to skip, some of it.
Okay, like your life,
Yeah.
as you said, like the way you live
Yeah.
affects your father's ministry.
Yeah.
Even those things sometimes gives you a kind of pressure, like okay, I have to be careful on this thing. Like I have one story actually. It really happened.
Yeah.
Like the story is when I was in Bible college. One of my friend, I call him friend. His father is a pastor. So
Yeah.
and our college is very big college and very prestigious college. And people love to come there to praise, to get opportunity to appear there in one of a big function.
Yeah.
So his father's name was there actually.
Yeah.
For one of big program to come and preach there. It was 1 year before it was planned and published in our handbook.
Yeah.
And then everyone was happy, like this person's father will come here to preach, and then okay, everyone's okay, excited. Okay, let him come and we'll meet him. All of a sudden, my friend was caught red-handed stealing things in the hostel. So he was thrown out of college, and then he was rejected. Then his papa called in our college and he said, now I cannot come and preach there. My son did not perform well, so I cannot come and preach. And sometimes those things really happens, and as you said, like if you take it positive, like I was born with it, isn't it? You didn't volunteer like, okay, I will become a pastoral kid.
No.
It was, that's why. But till now, and obviously in near future also, you've been a very good pastoral kid for me.
Till now.
We love you. And since like we are in the same group, we play music together, we learn songs together, and often we are together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I have been here quite often, and I visit
We'd love
here.
to have you here.
Yeah, like before my wife come here, I was always here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, and like we have known you, and then we work together. So like you have performed very well, isn't it? That's a kind of blessing. And then even that we have, we feel that blessing. So in this case, like there are maybe other pastoral kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are so many pastors and they have their children. And then some pastoral kid maybe having a more pressure than you.
Yeah, because
maybe,
it depends on the context and environment you're living in.
Yeah, isn't it? And then there can be more pressures, and more often they may hear those kind of things like, okay, you're a pastoral kid, again and again people telling you, do this one, you don't do this one. So they may be under kind of pressure. So what will be your message to those people?
My message is to live according to the Bible. Just follow those 10 commandments. And another might be useful is that just build a relationship with your father, because your father has 2 different roles. So it might kind of be heavy on him too to take upon several roles at the same time. But you need to remember that while he's a pastor, and while he's a father, he's not your pastor anymore.
Okay.
So you need to have communication with him, and when you're spending time with him, although you might not get to do that a lot of times, when you get that opportunity, just use that opportunity to talk with him and to communicate with him as much as possible, and like be open to him. Like if you're being pressurized, just say, like I do, just say that, okay, this is a bit too much on me, I think, and I just want a bit freedom. And sometimes you just want to kind of spend those moments with them and kind of live the life, rather than being surrounded by all those rules that quite often are not necessary, I guess. Yeah,
like can they take this opportunity, like being a pastoral kid, as a blessing, and then take it like a God's blessing or a gift of life?
Yeah, they can do it. And the main focus is that having that mentality that God gave you this life, you were born with it, and although you did not volunteer to do it, and although your characteristics or what you're born with at the same time might not fit those idealistic things, it's still a blessing from God, it's still a gift from God, and you're just bound to live with it, kind of. Maybe it's sarcastic or not, but yeah. It's a blessing from God. You get to know a lot of people, you get to build connections, you get to learn more about lives, and get to kind of participate more in the church events, and
and maybe know your role, like your role will affect your father's ministry. I can say, like, don't think it like my father's ministry, but like you can,
it's God's ministry,
it's God's work, and then it's a beauty that I'm part of it,
yeah,
through my parents or whatever. And what will be your message to congregation? Because people are always looking at you like, okay, Prapti is pastoral kid. What will be your message to congregation, to the church?
Okay, specifically, I don't remember much of my life with my congregation back in Nepal, Himalaya Pentecostal Church. But the past 5 years I've been living in Oslo, Norway, and Oslo Nepal church members, they have been really kind, and I'm really grateful towards them because I really feel comfortable when I'm around them, and I get to be myself and just get to live my life in a way. And yeah, I do sometimes kind of get comments like, okay, this is not according to the Bible, but that's different than being like, okay, this, you're not dressing modest and something like that. So pointing something out from Bible is different than just talking and like expecting a pastor kids to be someone. And for my church back in Nepal, I think
they love you, isn't it?
I think they do. They or yeah, and
Yeah.
they must. Or yeah.
As a pastoral kid, sometimes you get more favor, isn't it?
Yeah, I do
Isn't
agree
it?
with that. I do get more favor whenever like I'm getting food. I get a lot of delicious food when I'm visiting.
Do your friend get
places.
jealous of it?
Sometimes because when back in Nepal, if I visit my home country, then a lot of people will surely invite me, I hope, to their houses, and then I'll eat a lot of delicious food for free and get to fill up my stomach, which is really a good thing.
Yeah, we are really happy, Prapti, to have you in our midst and in our church. You are really a blessing from God for us. And we pray that God may use you the way He has called you. Not necessarily in the set pattern of rules of people, but the way God wants you to be. And obviously you are pursuing your ambitions. So I believe God will lead you.
Yeah, that's my
dream and call.
Yeah, I hope to find my call.
Yeah, all the best for your future, for your studies. Complete well, do well.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. Thank you so much
Bye.
for separating time.
Ha det.
Oh yeah, you speak Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can we say in Norwegian style how we say bye bye?
Ha det.
Ha det.
Farvel.